We have returned, everyone. I hope that you've enjoyed your break. It is now time, as we have gone back into the primordial grove, a valley that shouldn't exist, in the realms of Mesotopia, specifically on the island of Mesomasca, where the adventurers had tracked a party of fomorians using one of their eyes as a portal into someplace else. And as the fomorian eye opened above the waters of the burbling spring, they stepped through its eye into some other place. Mordecai has taken that step. Celine has taken that step. And now it is time for Kazimir to tread atop the water and through the open portal. And when he does, you all find yourselves aboard an airship above the deserts of Aslandia. The dunes roll beneath you. And Kazimir, you, my friend, are at the prow of the ship. As this is your hunting party. You have 4 very affluent and notable people from Mesomasca who have hired you to go on a hunting safari in the desert of Aslandia. And so, during the war, having hunted and even captured an airship, you use it to scour the desert for sand dogs. The Shadowhar called them buoys, but you know them as sand dogs. And so far, these affluent people who've hired your services have had a good hunt at your leadership. In fact, from a pack of sand dogs that were started around a dozen, you're down to 1 that's been on the run, and you've been following it. Kazimir, your hunters are on deck. You have a couple crew members that are, there to pilot. They're acting in support of you and your commands. They seem a little concerned maybe it's gotten away. Has it? Would you like to address your clients?
Well, you see, even though the tracks are getting harder to see because of the wind and the distance, we are still on its trail. You see over what is that? Port? Over port. You see just little divots. It no longer looks like a full track, but those are still, in fact, tracks. They are not fully covered, so we are still heading the right way.
Good. Let's see if we can track this thing down and finish this party on a positive.
One can hope. Oh, I'm still trying to understand why they end up why they end up having the name Bullets.
No, they just called them sand dogs. Those Shadowhar people don't know what they talk.
They put some weird accent on it. Bullets.
Such weird.
Jacob, what... you have been able to take down most of a pack so far. And as you've been on a multi-day hunt here, tracking them, taking out a few, are you in it just for the kill? Are you in it for, do you want to, take away some teeth or hide? Are you looking for anything in particular? And what do you have so far?
Oh,
if anything.
Thus far, I have actually been using such to end up taking after Mr. Surreal, who has ended up inspiring me to end up accenting my own personal armor. I've had it outfitted specifically to end up hanging on, to use rib bones as accents, and stretching the hair, the wonderful hair skin taut to end up serving as a place where I can carve memories. And the first one I will end up doing so in burning the hide is to end up doing a memory of this hunt, commemorating all of us and this wonderful moment in friendship.
Well, it's good to get a vacation, isn't it?
Oh, most certainly. I even ended up doing something, maybe it would be considered a bit garish, but I ended up even placing some of the teeth as spiky accents on my pauldrons.
I don't, Kazimir, is that is that garish, or is that somehow undue, or is that fine that your client here has wanted to decorate his things with teeth?
No, when you hunt, you want to try to use every part of the animal, even if it's for decoration.
Okay. Mordecai, you're along on the hunt. What are you going after on this safari? You may be after the same thing as Jacob. Maybe you're competing. It could just be a numbers game. It could be you want meat or organs or whatever. What have you taken away from this hunt so far?
Well, I'm more looking to improve upon the things that I am wearing, and so adding some bone decorations would actually be something I would be interested in, maybe tinkering a little with them and seeing if there's something that I could add to my current aesthetic.
Yeah.
And so taking a little bit of an idea from Jacob, but the armor seems pretty interesting and pliable and can be used for a multitude of different things, and so just collecting whatever's not used and potentially tinkering around with it, maybe with some magic or with some mechanical benefits.
What's a piece of advice that that Kazimir gave you that kind of surprised you? Maybe you didn't know something about sand dogs or about their uses or something. Like what would be a quote or something that you could take away from Kazimir?
Well, the thoughts of a hunter are to make use of everything so that nothing goes to waste. I mean, God forbid that we should be wasteful people. And so that's really been something that struck me as interesting about Mr. Asheril. I don't know. It's okay. He's always seemed resourceful, and putting things to good use is something that I found interesting.
Kazimir, you've been an effective teacher, it seems. Then you're really instilling your hunting lessons into these. Maybe they're not all city folk per se, but they're definitely not Aslandians. Bright, why? What have you done on this hunt? That is there something that you just wanted to observe, or have you actually been taking trophies or trying new meats or dishes? Why are you on this hunt? What is your takeaway?
Oh, ew. No, I'm here. I'm here as a punishment. When a gnome does something really bad, sometimes they're sent to do a penance that reflects the thing that they did that was bad. And so I've been sent. I mean, of course I don't ever eat meat, and even my shoes aren't leather. They're tree bark, and I would never want to do this. But because I did something bad, I have to go along on this hunt just to remind myself over and over and over of what I did and make sure that I feel it. It's working. So, yeah. So I know that Mr. Mr. Kazimir is just doing his job, and so I don't hold it against him, but it sure is tough. Okay, that's all.
So Kazimir, you've probably had a couple gnomes on your tours like this before, as this does seem to be a rather effective form of punishment. You may not agree that it's punishment. This is a whole lifestyle of hunting and gathering and all this, but you know what? You have Bright here. Have you been able to? What's been your interaction? You think you've been able to at least teach Bright something, whether it's a moral lesson or just to discuss this as another lifestyle that people enjoy? Have you asked about why she's here, or do you just keep that private?
Well, I wouldn't probably know that gnomes normally don't eat meat.
Yes.
At least forest gnomes. So I probably would have asked her.
Bright, then, there's probably a discreet time Kazimir would have pulled you to the side and asked you why you're on the ship. Is that something you want to discuss, or are we just keeping it as you're here for punishment and here's the documents that prove it?
I mean, I'll say a little, but I don't want to say too much because I would be ashamed.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. And then the last member of the safari here, we have Celine. Celine, what have you been doing on this hunting safari that is led by the famous Kazimir, the famous hunter, who is the best hunter and, well, a couple other best superlatives in all of Aslandia?
I am a medical professional in some respects, and in others I am simply a way to disable the creatures if conventional weapons just won't do.
Okay.
Of course, we're hunting sand dogs, but there are much nastier things out here.
Oh,
Sandworms.
There's, yeah. And that'd really be something. I mean, even Kazimir would think twice about wanting to engage with one of those things.
They aren't as tasty.
Yeah.
Kind of slimy.
Oh, and you know what? This could also help your research into dragons, too. Is that something you shared with Kazimir, that you've explored their bones in the dragon graveyard? Or are you keeping that to yourself?
I'm keeping that to myself. That's private research.
Sure. So you're not actually taking any sort of physical remnants, or are you just studying the guts, like making sketches, as Mordecai and Jacob are disassembling the corpse at the behest of Kazimir, or the instruction?
Yeah, sketches and notes and diagrams and other such miscellaneity that comes with being doing anthropology.
Sure. All right. So Kazimir, you have an interesting crew here. I mean, they've all been, some gnomes are kind of conscientious objectors. Bright's been pretty okay about not ribbing ya, about hunting and the like. So you have this last one, and you are looking out over the dunes. In fact, Kazimir, will you give me a perception check? And you can make this at advantage, since you're up high, you're at the bow. The sun's where it needs to be. 19, excellent. And now I need you to roll a survival at advantage. You see.
Advantage.
Oh, I'm sorry, 25, not 19. And now survival at advantage. You've seen some tracks. You've lost them for a little bit, but don't worry. You still have plenty of time in the air. However, it's probably best to save a little bit of fuel, and you should go down and try and inspect on the ground, just to be safe. And so, Kazimir, you order the ship to the dunes, and it lands gently. It's an experienced crew. All right, everyone. Time to hit the sands once more. There's a sand dog out here, and you got to find it.
It's right here.
A very floofy one.
Very nice, right?
Those ones are lucky, right?
So you disembark. You all have your spells, your arms, your armor. You're ready to go as you're hunting out in the desert. There's still maybe an hour or so of good sun before it's going to start getting cold in the desert, and you should probably make camp. So this is going to be the last hour of the day to try and get this this last member of the this sort of pod. Would be I'll think of a good name for him later. A group of these creatures. And so, Kazimir, you are leading the way, though you have others. Like, Mordecai has proven himself to be very observant, very keen. And so, describing to him what you're looking for, we can even have Mordecai make a perception on your behalf to try and find the tracks once more, as maybe a breeze has come by and filled some in.
Yeah, so they won't be full tracks, but they will still be little indents in the sand.
26 is certainly good enough. So Mordecai, following Kazimir's instructions, you find some little divots. Well, relatively little for the expansive acres of the desert. And Kazimir, you can confirm that it looks like the sand dog did actually come out of the sands here and was walking above ground. They're not always underground. They can move and hunt, but they do have to come up for various reasons. And so now Kazimir, aided by others, you can make another survival to try and track down this creature. All right, 24 is certainly good enough. You find a good track. And in fact, you even can find a. You can even find where it came up and it left like a poo behind. So you are. It's fresh. It's there. You know where to go. And so you're making your way forward. This is the time that if any of you wanted to, if you have any spells or other techniques that you would want to invoke to try and protect yourself, as the sand dog knows it's been hunted. Kazimir, I'm kind of talking through your mouth for the behavior of these things. And while it's not, there's no wall in the desert, its back is to the wall and could very well just jump out and attack us for trying to pursue it. So if any of you would like to buff or cast spells or take actions, this is the time to do it.
I ready my armor and my shield decorated in the fresh kills that we ended up having. Trying my best to dry it off, though some of the remains are still clinging into it. It's a little sticky, it'll take time to dry off, but once it dries in place, there's no removing it.
Alright.
I'm not casting anything.
Okay. Kind of keeping to yourself, and that's fine.
Action shield already.
Axe and shield are ready. Celine?
I'll draw my sword and shield, and what I'll also do is I will very quickly, just in case things get very dangerous, I'm going to cast a Spirit Guardians to keep us safe.
Okay. Wait, do those follow you around, or is that a zone?
It's a zone around me, and I could specify people to be immune, as these guys are.
Okay. So you're.
So don't worry about the damage.
Yeah. All right. So there are you summon some Spirit Guardians. Kazimir, is this okay for hunting? Like, is this just another form of it, or what's your opinion on this? As you see, Celine calls forth these reaping angels that are surrounding her.
Kind of cheating, but it's a lot.
It's a hunting party.
Okay. Okay. You're walking, and Kazimir, what you thought would happen, even though you wouldn't want it, the tracks disappear into the side of a sand dune. So it seems like this thing has gone to ground.
I mean, that's where they go.
It is. It's upset. You could try luring it out some way with some kind of maybe a bait, or they do react to noises. So you could always just try, you know, stomping and screaming. Or if not you could have one of the others do it.
No, we don't want to scare it, because it will just dig further. We need to draw it out.
Maybe one of us break off and see his bait.
I'll go.
Yes, a little one. You are perfect bite size.
Okay, I'll go. That's fine.
Bright, do you want to take a pot of organs to kind of throw into the sand to seep into the soil to make a stink and to act as like a meat for it?
No, it's funny. I have some left over from the last episode.
Okay.
So I'll take those.
Okay. The intestines of a sand dog look remarkably like those of a half-elf. That's fine. So you take a bait pot out, and you give it a little... And you sling it out, and it opens and spreads the effluence out onto the sands. Are you wanting to create any sort of, like, are you dancing, are you stomping, do anything magically or mundanely to try and draw it over also?
You know, I think that I don't really have the right kind of magic for that. We would really need someone with thaumaturgy. It would really be better suited. So no, I'll just be the bait. I'll just yeah.
Make whimpering noises. Sound injured.
Okay.
The sound of an injured gnome rolls across the endless dunes of Aslandia. Bright, will you give me a performance?
Yes, please.
Hey, you sound pretty
19.
well injured. Okay. So you're out there making noise. There's the stink of death is on the air as the still warm sands are making the organs just warm and kind of smelly since they've been brewing in that pot for a little while. But you know what? That seems to be what is needed. As I am going to need you all to roll into initiative. And can any of you not be surprised, or in other words, can you act on a surprise round?
Yep.
All right. So let's roll initiative, and then Jacob, you'll get to go along with the sand dog.
Unfortunately, this is not favorite terrain, so.
You say that, and then you roll that. Wow. Hashtag humble brag. And let's see. Bright had a 21. Nice.
We both had 21s.
All right. So what is going to happen is on our surprise round, we have... between Bright and Kazimir, who would like to go first?
Oh, Bright, you can go first.
Okay.
All right, she is the bait.
You are small, you need to run.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Then we have... Okay. So, on this surprise round, we have Jacob. Jacob, you see that right behind Bright, who's a little ways off, not necessarily too far. I mean, because she went off to try and be bait here, but I don't know. Let's just call it 50 feet. She's 50 feet away from you, and a sense tingles, and a beast is like just lunging up from the sands towards Bright on this surprise round. You get to go before it. So how are you acting to it emerging from the sand?
Well, can't have the sand. I'm just gonna call it a bullet. I can't have the bullet eating the bite-sized one. So I rush, full tilt, and eventually it's almost like I sink into the sand. Nobody here is quite sure what happened. It might be a few black tendrils or something like that down to the sand, but suddenly appears in between Bright and the sand dog, bursting out like one himself, as these tendrils of black hair end up just fading off of him as he comes out of the ground, placing himself between Bright and this thing.
Okay.
And takes a swing at it. So that would be my bonus. Should be Misty Sip.
Mm-hmm.
And now I got 3 attacks.
Ooh. All right. Your last one will hit. So your hammer bash, and you make a crack, and the third manages to actually like get through the area you've tenderized with your first 2 strikes. All right.
Need to be sharper than that.
Yeah, these things are tough. So you have to start cracking into them. But maybe there's something satisfying once you hear that armor just finally like give.
Oh, most certainly.
All right. It gets to go, and so against you, I need Bright. I need you to make either a strength or a dexterity saving throw, your choice. As this thing emerges, it rockets out of the sand and is gonna try and pin you to the sands to eat you.
Well, that's a pretty obvious choice.
All right,
18.
18 or an 18, gotcha. All right, so you are not knocked prone. You're only going to take a little bit of damage as it miscalculated its leap, or the fact that you were so nimble that you'd actually scamper out of the way as it tried to get the drop on you here.
I'm just little; it went right overhead.
Yeah, or that too. And I guess its little tail just kind of bonks you on the head. So. You are going to take half of 17 bludgeoning damage as it conks you on the back of your head after overleaping you here.
Okay.
But you are pushed away. Like, it lands where you were, but you were kind of at its edge anyway, so you're pushed 5 feet away from it.
Okay.
All right, and now we are at the top. Bright, you are at the top, so we're technically in round 1. What would you like to do? This thing is adjacent to you. It's turned around, and this thing is hungry. It's tired of being chased. It smells blood. There's a little morsel in front of it.
Okay. I guess I'll do a shocking grasp.
Okay. Its
16.
armor seems to, like, you touch it, and its armor seems to insulate against your shocking grasp as you try to pour electricity into it, but it's just not getting through.
Okay. Well, that was ineffective. Okay, I'm gonna run away and run back towards the rest of the party.
Okay. As you do so, it's gonna try and nip at you with a bite.
Okay.
Ooh. And it's gonna miss. It tries to snap at you, and it only manages to just barely miss the end of your floof as it's trailing behind you as you run. All right.
Because I would hate to lose that floof.
Yeah,
That would be the worst thing that could happen.
Truly, it would be a nightmare.
Really would.
Kazimir, then Celine, and then Jacob.
How far away am I?
50 feet away from it.
Alrighty. Let's not be 50 feet away.
Ooh, Zephyr
Yes.
Strike.
Zephyr Strike. So my movement speed is now 65.
Okay.
I will run up to it.
All right, you like crest over a sand dune, and you could like come down with your shield and your axe if you want, for fun. All right, go ahead and
Well, one hand.
well, one hit, yeah.
I will.
It's all right. A 22 is definitely gonna hit.
There is also going to be a +2 for duelist, and I get a 1d8 for Colossus Slayer because it's taken damage,
Yes, it has.
and a
Wait,
1d8.
yeah, it has.
Yeah, and a 1d8 for Zephyr Strike.
All right, and what's your total then?
So total is 22.
All right.
So what you made?
No,
you made that
24.
attack. So you made that attack with advantage, yeah? Because if
No,
you
that's
did,
normal.
because if you're triggering the Zephyr Strike, that makes the attack with advantage, which means it's crit.
Oh,
Which means
does
you'd
it,
be rolling those dice again because they are part of the weapon attack.
Does Zephyr grant opportunity?
once before the spell ends, you
Oh.
can give yourself advantage.
Hey. So
Yes,
yes,
okay,
instead of a
so-
22, it's a 28. And Kazimir, you come down and you strike where Jacob hit, and then there's just that, it resounds, and you just kind of take your shield and you like hammer the back of your axe down further for more damage.
So it's 24 plus 2d8 because you've got another 2d8 to roll. One from the Colossus Slayer, one from the Zephyr Strike. Because you crit.
So
Oh.
give me your damage, or at least your extra damage.
Okay, so two more d8.
Two more
More
d8.
D8.
Okay.
Okay. Also, I have an extra attack.
Okay. Roll it then.
How much health does this have?
24. So that's 32. All up. For the first one. And that's another one!
That's
And
crit.
another crit. Kazimir,
Wow.
you ramp off of this thing, come down, so Jacob steps away and you see this big weak spot that he loosened it for you. And you just come down with your axe and strike, bash with your shield, you drive the blade in. And then it's like you get beneath it and it's like a lever. You just put your shoulder and you're just tearing your axe through the inside of this thing. Go ahead and roll me more damage, please.
Yep, it's just that damage. You don't get
Yes, it's
Colossus
just
Slayer
okay.
is just once per turn.
Whew.
All right. So
So
19
that's a
damage.
21.
Oh, that's right, because of
Because
the.
it's duelist.
Yes, duelist. Yep.
You.
So 53 total between
Yeah.
the two attacks.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Ca-
Rangers, man.
Kazimir, you ramp off this thing and you just come down. Are you? I mean, it's dead. You have absolutely smited this thing, and your clientele. I mean, if you all want to clap, you're welcome to, because Kazimir. I was about to say Asimir. Kazimir just showed off. I mean, probably had a beautiful shot, like in the setting sun. Created a beautiful shadow across the dunes. Came down, and you could be impressed or not. Bright, you might not be impressed because he just smited a living creature. But that's part of your punishment.
Still little one, you are perfectly safe.
And the thing goes down, and you can hear in the distance, like the crew on the airship is like, "Whoa, yeah, that's our Kazimir," and you're happy, and you know it, and you can clap your hands, and so you end up taking the sand dog. The sun sets. You make camp in the desert. True Aslandian style. You have a bonfire, some cushions. Kazimir, you found that the Shadowhar had a device called a hookah that you ended up absconding with when you hunted their ship, and so it's something that you brought along with you, and all of you can share in this if you'd like. But you have a nice desert tent. The cushions are out. There's a campfire, and you're sitting around a fire, enjoying Well, sand dog if you'll have it. Otherwise, other rations can be provided. Things that would be appropriate for a gnome diet. He may be a hunter, but you know, that doesn't mean you can't have veggies and stuff.
I'll have. Actually, I don't feel very hungry. I'll just sit and
Little
observe.
one, you have to eat, or you'll get weak. And you're already so small.
Maybe I'll have some trail mix in the morning.
Not right.
All right. So, yeah, Bright, unfortunately you brought some fresh grapes with you, but after being in the desert, they turn into raisins. Still edible, but, you know.
Oh, that's okay. Raisins are okay.
They're good. Not as good as some nice sand dog jerky, though.
Bright retires, shuts the flap of her tent and locks it. And that leaves the rest of you out here. If you'd like to have a conversation with Kazimir about your day or experiences, you just want to share stories, you want to be braggadocious, talk about whatever, this is an opportunity. The crew is at the ship tending it, making sure in case something happens, it's ready to go. And this is your hunt that you're leading, Kazimir, so you get like the hunt leader's tent and all that. So you're here, and would you like to exchange any notions or, anything in particular? Otherwise, we could say that you speak and then you'll retire. It's up to you.
Certainly impressive.
As
Could not have
you
done better
can-
than myself.
Quite.
As you can see, I was probably the best choice you could provide.
Oh, of course.
Too bad little one does not want to stay for a campfire story.
That should be all right. Should be all right. But really, that was some impressive axe swinging. I have never been able to do such a thing myself.
Perhaps I could teach you sometime.
Perhaps.
Kazimir might even be able to offer you a private lesson.
Quite possibly.
Celine, do you have any comments on the hunt, on the day in general, or the hunt overall?
Not particularly. It was a very good show. Other than that, there's not really anything much that needs to be said. Kind of speaks for itself, if you know what I mean.
All right. Kazimir, then the night is growing cold, and it's time to put the cushions away. And you had a good meal. You hunted well. You ate well. You shared some stories, and it's time for you to retire to your tent. Anything you're saying or doing before you close your flap?
No, we just we had a good shot. It's time to get to bed before it gets too dark. Because you have
Okay.
to wake up at a certain time in the morning, or it's going to be a hard day. You need to get up while it's still cool out.
Yeah, oversleeping is absolutely the worst for hunting. All right, so each of you retire to your tents. You have your thoughts and your dreams, Kazimir. Though you are a wood elf, Kazimir, or a desert elf. I'm sorry, you are
Sand
a
elf.
desert elf, a sand elf. Pardon me. And you can choose to go into a trance if you wish. I mean, not that you can't sleep.
Yes, I will trance.
All right. You go into your trance because, hey, waking up early in the morning is really nice when you only have to get 4 hours of sleep. And so, Kazimir, you slip into your dreamlike trance state. And outside, the stars reel through the sky. The wind gently blows over the tops of the dunes. And the moon rises to sink again. Kazimir, you wake up And it's daytime. You must have overtranced because the sun is up. You're actually sprawled out. The sun feels really good. However, there's no sign of a camp nor airship.
That is not right. I guess I will get up,
Okay.
walk up to the highest dune I can see.
Okay. Yeah. So you go up here. Perception. You could roll with advantage even. You're on you have the high ground.
No,
17 or
between those
17?
two numbers.
Yeah. We'll take the average of 17. You
Had so many double rolls on advantage.
You don't see them? You're straining. Although, wait a minute. You go to look out, and when you do, your hand kind of like thunks on your forehead, but your forehead is a little further out than what you expected? And your hand isn't a hand. It's a claw.
Do I recognize this type of claw?
Why, yes, you do. As you look down, Kazimir, you're a sand dog. A bouet, as the Northeasterners call it.
Oh dear. That's no good.
Make another perception, since you're up here trying to take a measure of things. Nice, 20. You can see, cresting over a distant dune, there does appear to be a black shape silhouetted against the bright light of the day. Mordecai, will you make a perception, please?
Yes.
You have several lookouts, and so you have advantage on this. So not an 11, which is a 1 for all of you out there. Instead,
Unless he rolls the average.
a 21. Mordecai. That one sand dog that you've been trying to find, so that you've got them all, you got the whole pod of them, is on top of a distant sand dune. What are you saying or doing? It's like hundreds of feet away, but you just catch it. It's glinting, or rather not glinting, at the top of the sand stack.
It's that way.
Oh, fantastic here, Mr. Silverleaf. You make it
Keen
here.
eye.
You make a better hunter than most. Onward. Hate for the quarry to end up getting away. I hope that its teeth remain intact this time.
Right?
Bright, Celine, do you want to say anything? The call of "Hunt is on!" goes from the crew.
Hunt is on!
Oh, they found it.
Wait,
Wonderful.
I guess it's time. I guess we have to get it over with.
Oh, quiet. But you know, Bright. This has been coming for a very, very long time. We've been looking for so long and we've finally found it.
They're a nuisance.
I mean, I know that you don't particularly revel in the hunting side of things, but with the kinds of things that it's done, it very much needs to die.
To be fair, this one looks rather hearty. I don't think it'll go down here quick.
Oh, this is a bull
Well, that means
of
we
a
can
of a
enjoy
ballet.
that means we can enjoy the fight.
Quickly, onward! I cannot
Let's
wait
go.
to let him get his
Onward
voice.
indeed.
Kazimir. The shape is growing closer and is coming towards you. The shape looks familiar. That seems like it's your ship.
That's no good. Well, knowing that Billet can dig, I'm going to dig.
All right.
Or a sand dog, sorry.
All right. You dig down. Mordecai makes the call. It's gone under. You're very quickly approaching the sand dune where this like big bull belay, or bullet, however you want to pronounce it, or bouet, was. However, it has slipped beneath the sands. Are you doing or preparing anything?
I'm gonna cast Locate Creature.
Oh,
I'm
Very
searching
well.
for it specifically.
it is absolutely within 1,000 feet of you. All right, so Mordecai, you
Keeping a radar on
take
it.
a moment. Yeah, you open up your mental radar. Bing! It's there.
It's underground, but I know where it is.
The crew comes up to you all. Do you want us to land? What would you like us to do? Stay in the air?
How about we do that plowing trick that we were shown earlier? You know, just scrape along and try and drive it out from under the sands.
Sure.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
The metal
Try.
plate sled should work well for that.
If it's... Is the sand dog near the surface still? That we would be able to scoop it with it?
It's probably not super near the surface, but I don't know. The crew's always wanted to do this.
It's a dumb animal anyway.
Oh, clearly. Yeah. I mean, these are just beasts that rut in the sand and just...
Just a nuisance to all of society.
Oh, yeah. Aslandians hunt
Very
these
much.
things.
They love turning them into bits and bobs, don't they?
It's why I've been collecting them, after all.
Jacob's just
When in
like full
Aslandia.
armor. Yeah. They're like some mythical creature like the kangaroo or something. All right, so you locate creature, and the crew prepares. You all hang on as you know that you're going to be skimming. You're going to be kind of like cresting the top of the dune and plowing through. Hold on. I don't have a cat by me anymore. As the whole ship rumbles, as it comes down and the metal sled, like the metal plating on the bottom, just kind of scrapes along and pushes. Kazimir, fortunately, you dug down further than what this ship can scrape. However, I do need you to make a Constitution saving throw because the sound wave might stun you as it does reverberate through the ground.
Question. They use Kazimir's stats or a bullet stat?
Technically, there's no difference.
Yeah, use Kazimir for now, and then I'll modify it on my end. So just keep Kazimir as Kazimir, and if I need to change something up, I'll let you know. Okay, you're fine. You are shooken up, but you know that maneuver. They just did like a dune plow. And ooh, Kazimir, what are you doing now?
I'm going to continue digging.
Okay.
Because they won't be able to do that too many times.
Okay. So we're back to the ship. All of you are well, again, maybe not you, Bright, but many of you are looking over, seeing if, because sometimes if you get a good hit, it'll act like a cattle catcher on a train, just sort of like bounce them and scoop them up to the surface. Or it's kind of like picking a tick off a dog, just kind of, and they're kind of thrown away off the surface. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like a sand dog, especially this like big, strong bull of a sand dog was scooped up in the plow maneuver. So the crew wants to know what you want to do. You want to try again? Do you want us to land? Do you have anything you want to do from the air? We can't really kick up too much wind ourselves.
No, supposedly not.
What about luring it out with bait? Again.
Sounds fantastic. They can't resist chumming the waters, or sands in this regard. I have no doubt, given it enough time, Panic, it's going to need to end up here grabbing something to eat.
They are dumb beasts.
Okay.
Yes.
Give it to me.
Fantastic. That's you getting in the spirit of things, Bright.
The spirit of something. Okay, give me the little bucket of guts.
All right.
Bucket of guts is literally something that she needs to use both hands wrapped around and able to touch the fingers at the end.
Do you want to be like dangled over the side while it's flying? Do you want them to touch down and you go out and do the same thing you did last time?
I mean, I was assuming that they would be coming with. I mean, they were just gonna
Okay.
put me down and feed me to the sand dog.
Sure.
Although they could.
Well.
I mean, if that's what happens.
All right. The ship lands. Bright, you are given a bucket of guts, and you are sent out. Make a performance, please. At advantage. You have some experience doing this now. Ooh, 21.
Crit.
Nice.
Those are the saddest sounds that have ever been made.
Yeah. Bright is just devastated on this trip. Very sad gnome. All right.
Unbelievable.
So, she splashes the bait onto the sand and is making some injured sounds. Kazimir, something inside you is stirring, is calling. You're hungry. You need to eat. You have such bulk, such thickness, and you have to feed. Or do you? Why don't you make a Constitution save to see if you can resist the urge? Ooh.
Sad sounds.
Your belly grumbles, and everyone out there, Kazimir, he got a 21 to match Bright's 21. So in this case, versus the save, the 21 will have it. You manage to resist the sounds, but how much longer are you going to be able to resist the sounds of an injured gnome and the smell of a bucket of guts seeping through? Now, you can continue to try and run, or if you want to try and get the jump on him, something inside you tells you you could totally leap off of a dune and probably take one of them out in one round. That seems like a familiar memory from some time ago. What would you like to do, Kazimir? It's clear you're being hunted.
Well, there's nothing I enjoy more than a good fight. I'll take the bait.
Very well. I'll tell you what, because it's a similar tactic. Kazimir, why don't you make a Zephyr Strike on Bright? And then what will happen, actually, everyone roll initiative, and Jacob, you'll get to act as well, because you will not be surprised. So Kazimir is on a 6. Bright's on a 14.
Cleric initiative again.
With a 5. Yep. So Celine's on a 5. And Jacob is on a 7 here. All right. So we are going to have in normal initiative, it's going to be Bright, and then Mordecai, and then Jacob, then Kazimir, and then Celine. So
Wait, Bright goes ahead of me?
Or wait, hang on. Bright got a... Oh, no, you have a 21. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. It's,
Mordecai.
Yeah, it's Mordecai
Mordecai,
then
never
Bright. All right. So, this Zephyr Strike is going off on a surprise round. However, you can act on the same round as this attack is going off here, Jacob. This seems to be a good hunting technique. You just put a really sad-sounding forest gnome in the desert with a pile of guts, and this works every time. What are you doing? As this thing is just... It's bursting from a sand dune and is looking to eat Bright.
Oh, we can't have that now, can we? So...
It is a new day.
It is. And this sand dog is just coming out to eat Bright. For some odd reason,
Yeah,
I
just
thought it was...
claws like battle axes, just...
I'm going to jump in the way. I'm going to specifically take the attack and treat this thing head on. I think I can take it. And I think that it's the head plate would make a fantastic breastplate, don't you?
Okay, you're interposing. Are you teleporting over there again, or because we'll say it's the same setup as last time. She had to go out from the ship a ways.
Yeah. Yes, I think we'll end up doing that. Actually, I think I have something that I can end up doing that would be just as good, actually.
Okay.
I could... No. I will end up using Misty Step, so...
All right, you Misty Step as a bonus action beside Bright, the crying gnome. The attack is incoming. Do you have a specific imposition like ability, or are you using aid to give disadvantage to an attack against Bright?
I am making it very clear. I am specifically with the intention of so long as I am near Bright and Bright is near me, this stupid animal, well, obviously it's going to attack the closest thing it can, and that's clearly Jacob. But if it decides to end up attacking Bright, he can interfere on a moment's notice.
Okay. All right.
So, no safer place to be than within the grasp of the investigator.
Kazimir, suddenly, one of these larger... What was the name for him? People? Meats. One of these meats that's bigger than the other one immediately appears by the smaller one. What would you like to do as you are getting your Zephyr Strike? As it has also been a new day for you, so you're refreshed and everything.
Well, since I'm getting my Zephyr Strike. Real quick question. Am I still using Kazimir's spells and abilities?
Yep, you can still do so. I will modify things as necessary. But just go ahead and play Kazimir as Kazimir.
Okay. So I'm doing a Zephyr Strike. So my battle axe like claws. I still want the little one. That's what's the one that was making sense.
Okay.
And then I get the 1d8 for Zephyr Strike. +2 for duelist. So 18.
Okay, that hits.
Oh, and then I get the extra attack.
That's not gonna hit.
Not going to. I believe that is all I can do.
Okay. All right, we're now in formal initiative. So in our full round 1, it's Mordecai first, then Bright, then Jacob, then Kazimir, then Celine.
Wait.
I am.
Oh,
Wait. I can also make an attack on Jacob.
ah.
Try it if you think you can.
I tried.
Okay. Jacob, this is definitely a bull of a species. It's savage. It's attacking more feistily, and you just cannot ignore its girth.
No, especially that rump.
All right, so top of the initiative. Mordecai, you're 50 feet away. You see that this stupid animal has taken the bait and has emerged from the dune and is trying to savage Bright and Jacob. What are you doing?
I am gonna strike it with a level 6 guiding bolt.
Ooh.
That's probably not gonna hit though.
Nope.
No.
All right.
Well,
Your guiding bolt flies and impacts the sand.
bonus action inspiration. I'm gonna send one to Jacob.
Ooh. Okay.
Playing a little bit of music.
Okay, so Jacob has an inspiration. Anything else from you?
No, that's everything I want.
All right. Bright, this like dire species of sand dog is right next to you. What are you doing?
I think I'm just going to run away.
Okay. You run away.
That'll be dash in the opposite direction.
Okay. Kazimir, you get an attack of opportunity then. Ooh. Okay.
Oh, protection style.
Nice.
Nice.
All right.
A 15 still hits though, so.
Jacob, you try, and just the snout on this thing just like dashes your shield aside. So go ahead and roll your damage, Kazimir, as you tag Bright, who's running away.
I'm also going to add Colossus Slayer because this is same turn.
Okay.
There's no one who's less of a colossus.
I know. Yeah, I needed it.
Hey,
That was bad.
I have so many hit points.
All right. So you dash away. Anything else from you then, Bright, or are we going to Jacob?
No, we can go into Jacob.
All right, Jacob, Kazimir, Celine.
Well, you said that this is a thick boy.
Yes.
I'd like to test that.
Muscles just ripple across this thing.
Throwing down weapons, and immediately as it just clamped down on Bright, grab hold of it from both ends of its faceplate from behind, and just turns into the equivalent of Jacob trying to wrestle with an alligator.
Okay, so grapple mechanically?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna take this face plate off with my bare hands if I can.
All right.
Oh
So,
wait, it's athletics, not the.
on your
Not
turn,
safe?
You can
Well-
use either athletics or acrobatics.
Yeah.
Because you're the
Yeah,
defender.
no, I use save. I'm next to
well, you're next anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Jacob initiates a grapple and is like riding your faceplate. Kazimir, you use your action then, because I think you can grapple one size category larger than you.
Yes, at
Yeah.
disadvantage.
Okay, well, even with with the 20, it still beats your 19 athletics. All right, so Investigator Jacob Stillwaters is trying to go for his 8 seconds here. So Jacob, or not Jacob, Kazimir, you spend your action trying to shake off the investigator.
I thought that was just the opposing.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
the opposing, and
Yeah.
then on Kazimir's turn, Kazimir can make another one.
But they could also just attack, right?
You could also just attack. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Let's see what you can do.
Crit.
Let's see, crit.
Are you trying to eat Jacob clinging to your face?
Maybe.
I'm trying to scratch it off with one claw. The cat trying to scratch its back here.
Slayer, but I have extra attack, and then add 4 to that for my dueling.
So total of, let's see here, 19, 20, 29 plus 4, 23. So Jacob's hardly scratched.
Okay.
Well, still scratched.
Anything else, Kazimir?
If I have Shield Master feat, it allows me to try to shove. Can I do that if I'm grappled?
I could count your face as a shield, so sure.
I mean, a shove is a thing that you can do normally.
Yeah.
It's just you make the opposed athletics check. If you succeed, you push him back 5 feet, except it's further because of Shield Master.
Well, Shield Master, it's 5 feet. That's a bonus action.
Well, while you're resolving that, Celine, there's a combat going on. Jacob may or may not be 5 feet away from Kazimir, well, from this wretched beast. Probably sent into some kind of lusty breeding heat, you know, in the desert here. So
that's fine. This is a single target spell. Kazimir, could you make a Constitution saving throw, please? Nope.
Unfortunately, not even with the expanded stats of one of these creatures, rolling a 4 isn't going to save you, or rolling a 2, I should say.
What would be the roll for shoving though?
It's opposed athletics.
It's also an action, is it not?
No, it's
It
a
is
bonus
an
action because of Shield Master.
Yeah, it's
Oh, because it's Shield Master.
athletics.
kind of like
All right.
flinging you off with a neck snap.
Yep.
Oh,
I think you forget who you're trying to athletics against.
Jacob is just
You try to
sticking
shove
on.
him, and he shoves back.
And from your flank, Kazimir, just this spell impacts you.
So you're taking 52 points of necrotic damage. It reduces your hit point maximum by that amount, but it can't drop you below 1.
How many hit points do you have left, Kazimir?
Let me do some math.
Okay.
Not that much.
So if you have less than 52, it'll drop you to 1. And your hit point maximum to whatever the maximum is minus 52.
Okay, hold. No, I have more than one max.
Okay. You're hurting.
Yeah.
You're a hurting sand dog.
I'm hurting, and I'm not telling you guys my numbers.
That's that's not fair. All right, Mordecai, we're back up at the top of the initiative. Celine just like not like blasted a hole, like kind of like the energy just drained from this beast. It roars. I mean, honestly, just such a foul creature just needs to be rid of this world. No place in society for something like this.
Well, in that case, since this isn't there's a way that I can, if I were to create a radius, I'd be able to just get Kazimir in it, yes?
Yeah, because Kazimir's a large creature, so you could aim, like, let's say you're casting a fireball. You cast fireball behind Kazimir with the edge of the effect burning his butt.
Kazimir.
Yeah, yeah.
But I am going to cast Synaptic Static.
Okay.
Ooh.
Psychic
Intelligence
energy.
save.
Intelligence save. Oh, Kazimir.
It's a dumb animal.
I cannot save my life, so.
Hey,
You
Hey.
saved my DC.
Yep.
You can take 12 damage.
Only 12?
Mhm.
Yeah, it takes half, and No debilitation.
All right, Kazimir, something like is your brain feels kind of fuzzy, but you're still up and you're still roaring. We now go to Bright. Bright has run away. Would you like to do anything else, Bright? Jacob is riding this thing's face. Heh. And just a barrage is being. This thing looks like a menace to nature itself, like an affront. It's some grotesque mutation of an animal. Probably needs to be put down, otherwise it's gonna just keep making more of these, just misery beasts. You don't have to though.
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I don't know. I'm just going to have to take the dodge action.
Sure. Okay. We then go to Jacob, then Kazimir, then Celine. Jacob, you're trying to maintain your grip, I presume?
Most certainly. You see, I've come to a conclusion. This thing is huge. That means it has huge guts. Rip and tear!
You could just attack it if you'd like, because it doesn't take an action to maintain a grapple.
Yeah. You want to pound it?
Yep. I will end up using just the Warhammer equivalent on it then. This is bare-handed damage, though.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's see. Miss.
Ooh.
I think that one is a miss.
Hold on, what's going on here?
Well, I will actually... No.
Oh, yeah,
that last one hits. Last one hits.
Last one hits. So that is going to be a full 6 points of damage.
You also still have inspiration if you want to change one of those.
Oh, no. It's this animal, this thing, is not getting away from me. Can't dive if I got it.
All right. So you're well past 8 seconds. You've now gone 12 seconds, actually. Holding on to this bucking beast.
Yeah.
I almost thought I had to watch my language, but I don't. So you had
tonight. You don't.
Not tonight. Jacob, man, this fucking beast is trying to kick you off, but you're a mean son of a bitch, and you are just gripping and ripping. You're even punching this thing. Kazimir, we're down to you, then Celine, then back up to Mordecai, depending on what happens.
Let's see.
Kazimir, these people are calling you dumb, like you would just mount anything that moves, that, more of your kind are a plague on the world. But you just led these people on a hunt. These are your clients.
I'm just checking spells.
Would you be able to cast in a grapple, though?
You
doesn't
do.
roll
Yeah,
for
you
that
can.
You
much.
still can, yeah.
You can. It's if you were restrained, then not. Yeah.
It just means that your speed is 0. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah, for some other reason I keep thinking of it as a restraint, but I don't have advanced grappling techniques.
You doing what you're doing is probably very important to the tactics of this party, though.
Ivy doesn't have the grappling source book. It was the biggest source book.
I'm just going to do another attack.
All right, you're gonna try and eat Jacob as he's clinging to your face.
Yep.
All right,
Let's see.
catch one of his legs in your, or not.
Ooh.
That's a 1.
Wait,
Everyone.
I have advantage.
Oh,
Because it was effort strike. Won't hit, but I'm not. It's not a 1.
all right,
That's not gonna hit.
all right. So
Extra attack.
Okay, that will. I wouldn't have, or no, it will. Okay.
okay, Jacob,
So
it
12?
gets a hold of your leg.
And then check. Bonus action shove.
Okay.
There's no shove.
This
No shoving.
this meat. You wanted to say person, but now it's just this meat is very strong. It would make your tummy very happy if you ate it. All right. Celine, Mordecai, Bright, depending on what happens. We'll see. Celine, what do?
Yes, it is my turn. And now, I think it's time that I... Because Kazimir is currently a large creature, if I was to cast... If I was to cast a spell with a 10-foot radius, would I be able to target it so it misses Jacob?
Yes.
Still gets Kazimir?
Yeah, you just hit Casimir's ass. That's what all the AoE casters are aiming for.
Everybody's tapping that ass.
Yep.
It's Aslandia.
Cool.
It's quite a target.
So, Celine places her hands together and murmurs a chant. And, an angel appears from above. A magical circle inscribes itself for an instant into the sand before this large, all calamitous gaboosh from a flame strike.
Oh, deck save. I get that shield master. +2.
That's still
So 15 will not be enough for a DC 16.
and that's 25 damage.
How's your hit points, Kazimir?
0.
All right.
Yes.
So, a flame, like a drop from the sun itself, lands on Kasimir's ass, and Jacob, this beast just gives a very gross sounding gurgling call. It's not dead. It just seems to be like twitching, but not mobile. So this is your all's opportunity here to do what you'd like.
Rip and tear.
Rip and tear. Jacob grabs hold of both sides of the faceplate, what you could imagine the ears, and proceeds to put the boot of his boot on the bottom of its neck as he starts to lift, and he is effectively peeling your face off over itself.
Kazimir, you are conscious while Jacob and Mordecai move in for their trophies. Jacob, go ahead and roll in athletics at advantage, and you can use your inspiration from Mordecai also. So, go ahead and roll an inspiration die. So it's not just a 28, but it's a
D10.
a 32. Kazimir, you are conscious. You feel everything, as Kazimir is alive inside this twitching animal, and you feel your face. You feel the snaps as your ligaments and other things are just ripping. And Jacob and Mordecai peel the shield from your face, exposing it, as they're covered in your juices, almost like animals themselves. They don't seem to recognize you, Kazimir. You're nothing more than a stupid animal. Bright, what are you? The beast is down. The desert's been saved from this scourge. It is still alive. Like you see blood coming out. It's kind of twitching. It just this flame strike seemed to have stunned it.
I can't watch. but I'm still gonna cast an arcane eye so I can watch.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna look the other way.
Okay. Okay.
Cover your eyes, but peek through your fingers. And
there is actually something I would like to grab.
Go ahead.
Be my guest.
You know, the one thing I don't think I've ever seen is its heart and its brain. So I think it's time to get to a little bit of a good old-fashioned sand dog surgery, don't you think?
Celine, the specimen is still alive, even. You can watch its heartbeat. It's just missing its faceplate.
Vivisection, even better.
let me get that chest plate for you.
Thank you, Jacob. Now, shall we begin? Wring. And she's gonna begin precision cutting in and having a look at what's inside and how it looks.
Kazimir, the notes that Celine took just the other day on the ship, she certainly studied the anatomy of a sand dog. Her cuts are very precise. Jacob and Mordecai are going for the best bits. Here's your external armor, your skin, really, is being peeled away section by section from the outside. Celine is rummaging around inside. And Bright?
Brad's watching with an arcane eye like some kind of twisted voyeur. Unless she wants to come and help with the cutting, because I would be more than happy to have an assistant.
It's still alive. Why don't you at least kill it?
Because I need to see how it all works whilst it's still alive.
Just sit down in the sand.
Is it just me, or does it, the remains of its brain currently look like as if it's all scrawled in Gnomish?
You know, now that you mention it, a little bit.
Kazimir, fire burns through your very being. You're being torn apart bit by bit. Your eye sees Bright, your target. That nice little gnome was sent away for something, is still standing on a distant dune, her back to what's happening.
Oh, that's right, eyeball! I need that!
Jillian always has to have an eyeball.
They are quite
I
handy.
got the covered.
Oh, they really are.
He grabs hold of his hand axe. If you're taking the small pieces, might as well grab them a decoration. Now let's see if we kept its teeth intact.
I'm taking tinkering tools and using clamps to start ripping teeth out.
One by one.
One by one.
They almost sound like biting into an apple when you pull the teeth from the jaw.
Ugh. Oh, this is a... Look at the size of this sucker. Bright, I'm surprised
Wow,
you in one piece.
Wow, that is a big tooth. Yeah.
I don't have enough pockets. He just kind of slides the tooth into its empty eye socket as he grabs the next one.
Kazimir, what are you saying or thinking right now? I mean, you'd be speaking to yourself.
I am thinking that they did not pay attention to most important lesson. You have to kill the beast before you do things. So
all right. You spend some time tearing into this thing, and well, you're laden up. You have enough stuff that you need to bring it back to the ship. You have some armor plates, some organs, some sketches. But you should go to the ship to get some vials to collect various fluids.
Oh, my dear sir, that's assuming that's very much assuming that I didn't bring stuff with me, on the assumption that we would kill it and harvest its bits.
Well,
I come
Leave
prepared.
Nothing to waste.
Nothing to waste.
Nothing to waste.
That was the lesson that Kazimir instilled. Well,
And
drop off your containers at the ship then, and you can come back for more.
yeah, we'll do that.
Kazimir, as they're stooped
There's
over
only
you,
so much we can carry.
saying nothing to waste, these vultures, these apparent people, stand up, leaving you with one eye, all but dead, as they go back to the ship, your ship. And that just leaves you and a little gnome on a hill, not that far away.
I walk over to the remains. And I look down. I'm still not looking, I'm using my arcane eye. I look down to see if it's still alive.
It is a beast of a beast. It is barely clinging to life. You hear it gurgle and wheeze. The trophy takers have been going after the external trophies first. Celine wanted to see how it functioned, so it's definitely debilitated, but it's not dead yet.
I think they've done enough. And I start walking away.
Okay.
Range. I cast a level 6 fireball.
Okay.
Nice, delicious immolation.
And
Guess I had to kill it after all.
Kazimir, Bright walks away, becoming a silhouette on the sand dune in the bright afternoon. And that afternoon is getting all the brighter. What is your last thought as seemingly the sun itself descends upon you?
They didn't use everything, so they didn't follow my lessons.
Filled with disappointment, the fireball strikes, and Kazimir is immolated. And so, we say goodbye to Kazimir. And we'll take a short break, everyone.